Act 1. The Grand Sheik and the chairman of the Moorish Science Temple of America is empowered to make law and enforce laws with the assistance of the prophet and the grand body of the Moorish Science Temple of America. The assistant Grand Sheik is to assist the Grand Sheik in all affairs if he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and it is known before the members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly, according to the Circle 7 and love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Friday is our holy day of rest, because on a Friday the first man was formed in flesh, and on a Friday the first man departed out of flesh and ascended unto his Father, God Allah. For that cause, Friday is the holy day for all Muslims all over the world. Act 3. Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all members of the Moorish Science Temple of America. No member is to put in danger or accuse false to his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister, because Allah is love. Act 4. All members must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all members must obey the laws of the government, because by being a Moorish American, you are a part and parcel of the government and must live the life accordingly. Act 5. This organization of the Moorish Science Temple of America is not to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government, but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and a parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites, whom inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become a part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet Noble Drew Ali through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Noble Drew Ali family, Moorish American prayer. Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Drew Ali. Amen. The Moorish Science Temple of America, mailing address, MST of A Incorporated, P.O. Box 388, Greenville, Maryland, 20768. Thus, we've had a reading from all 7 acts, divine constitution and bylaws. I'll now read questionnaire and additional laws for the Moorish Americans by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali. Act 1. Grand Sheiks and governors and heads of all temples, all businesses. Each said temple must be approved by the Prophet Noble Drew Ali before acting upon by any members. Let it be finance, property, or any line of life that will cause the members to sacrifice finance, etc., that will cause the support of any group of members. Any former officer that violates these laws is subject to be removed from his office under heavy restriction, etc., by the Prophet or the Grand Sheik. Act 2. All members are to attend their ADAP meetings and their public meetings promptly. If a member is found standing around on their meeting period, shall be fined 50 cents on the first case, and on the second he will be fined $1, which will go on your emergency fund. If member is working, his monthly dues must be paid. And if he has money in the bank, he must subscribe for as much as he is able to the Moorish Uplifting Fund, because it takes finance to uplift a nation. Act 3. It is lawful and divine duty of every good member, if he is able in finance, to aid me and save the nation. And if he does not, he is an enemy to the cause of uplifting his own people, and justice must catch you. Let it be he or she, according to love, true peace, freedom, and justice, as I have the power invested in my hands, and I will have to enforce the law in order to save the nation. Act 4. All members, while making a public speech, must not use any assertion against the American flag or speak radical against the church or any member of any organized group, because we are to teach love, true peace, freedom, and justice. Act 5. All members must promptly attend their meetings and send their children to Sunday school, and the teacher must confirm himself to the questionnaire, and let every member exercise his 5 senses who is able to do so, because out from your Sunday school comes the guidance of the nation. Act 6. With us, all members must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that they may know that they are a part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slaveholders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all men now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained Noble Drew Ali the prophet to redeem his people from their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All members must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and a parcel of all uplifting acts of the Moorish Science Temple. Members must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of the Moorish Science Temple. Then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husband, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husband and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey father and mother and be industrious and become part of the uplifting of fallen humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Drew Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Peace. Thus we had a reading from all 7 acts, questionnaire, and additional laws for the Moorish America by the prophet Noble Drew Ali. We'll now have a reading from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, divinely prepared by the noble prophet Drew Ali, by the guiding of his father God Allah, the great God of the universe, to redeem man from the simple and fallen stage of humanity back to the highest plane of life with his father God Allah. The divine instructions from the Holy Prophet, page 41, chapter 34. Holy instructions from the prophet, sincerity. O thou who art enamored with the beauty of truth, and hast fixed thy heart on the simplicity of her charms, hold fast thy fidelity unto her, and forsake her not. The constancy of thy virtue shall crown thee with honor. Thus we had a reading from the Holy Koran of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Our Sunday school Koran class is officially open. If there is anyone out in the vestibule, the hallway, please let them up at this time. And Islam to everyone, and how you feeling? Praise be to Allah. Allah has seen fit to allow us to be back here today for some nourishment, to add to the nourishment that he has blessed us with prior to the day, so we can help take it and make our way that much fair upon the earth. If anyone need any dictionary, please raise their hand, and Mufti will aid and assist you. At this time, I'll call for our Grand National Chairman, who is the Grand Sheikh here at Temple 71, Brother P. Chaseal, for our Sunday School Koran class.
Son?
Son.
Say the most American friend unison. Allow
Universe, love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. The laws are protected, my God, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, through all you.
praise be to all the time, also. Pray that all is well. And we have a beautiful day today to be at our Sunday school for Koran and instructions, and also to learn about what? Self. Yes. What can we here to learn about? Our brother says self, which is part of it. Yes.
Our God.
Learn about
Our God.
our God. Yes. Teachers of our holy prophet.
Salvation.
Salvation. Yes. Principles. Yes.
Our way of life.
Our way of life. Yes.
Our lower self.
Our lower self. Yes.
Guidance.
Guidance. Yes.
Unity.
Unity. Yes.
Divine creed.
Divine creed. Yes.
Principle.
Yes. Principles. Say, speak up.
Love.
Learn to love. Yes. So that's a lot, but that's just part of some of the things that we're here to learn, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's a blessing that we're in our holy place, that we can learn about these things and others that Allah may seek forth from us for us to learn today. Heard the chat and ask for all of the literature. Everybody has their literature. You have your pen and pencils and paper. We're going to do some different things today. I hope y'all ready.
Praise God. That's right.
All right. Let's go into now. Here's the thing. We're going to set a theme in here today. Part of the theme is going to be staying alert. What did the Bible say? More stay alert.
Yes.
And as was indicated in last week's instruction meeting by the Grand Sheik, one of the things he talked about was focus. Staying alert and focus. Why are those things important for us? We're going to go with hands. Come on, Brother John Morris Bay.
Oh, no, we're staying focused because it keeps us on track.
He says on track.
Track.
Okay, come on, Brother Fenwick Bay. So we can hear the sound. Good. Come on, Brother Davis Ill.
I was going to say the exact same thing you said. I was going to say the
That's good. You said differently, but I get you. Say it from your perspective. Come on, Brother Maven Bay.
Petition for the pilot conducting into his court.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Say that again.
Attention to the pilot who's conducting into his port.
Attention is the pilot that conducts me into his port. And we're relating that to
Focus.
staying alert and focus. Okay. Anyone else? It's run by the government.
We stay focused so we can guard ourselves.
Good. We stay focused so we can guard ourselves against what?
Inconstancy.
Inconstancy. Yes. Come on, Brother Williams here. Williams Bay.
Islam, praise Allah. You want to stay alert, stay focused. For one thing, you never know what might happen. So you need to be attentive to everything that's going on around you. Because at any time, something may jump off or something may happen.
Okay, let's go with the prophet on that. And you get to a point. But here's what we got to always, and this is part of staying focused. The prophet said there are no happen. So nothing's going to happen. Nothing is going to happen. we get to a point.
I got you.
We're gonna substitute that with taking place. Something may take place. Something may come about. See, the more that we focus in on using these teachers to direct how we, and remember last week we talked about something? Our language.
Yes, yes,
Our language.
that's right, that's right.
And that's part of imitating Prophet Noah Drew Ali, so you learn our language. Because what are we speaking?
Spirit,
Come on. But let him in, though. I know you
praise God, go ahead,
a little bit. I will get you, but
praise God.
see, today I want to see where we're at as a group, individually. And that's why I'm setting this theme today of focus and alertness. The cares of the world are out there. We're going in it every day. We just came out of it. We have experiences all the time. And the blessing of being in the Moore Sign Temple of America, one of the things that we're learning that others may not be conscious of as much is that we're living in the end of time and fulfilling of the prophecies. You think this ain't the time to be alert? You think this ain't the time to be focused? When the evil spirits are incarnating and attacking every weak mind? This is exactly that time. We are experiencing some, in some degree, from a finite point of view, some unprecedented things taking place in this world. Babies getting shot every other day.
Come on.
So, yes, that's what this is about now. Stand alert and stand focused. Because we are receiving the light, and therefore we have to be able to share that light. And the only way we're going to share it is that we know what we're talking about and what we're doing. So this is not the time for what to get sluggish. You will. Say it. You will. That's why we got to speak with conviction. We didn't learn some of these things. And we know that they work because we've been using them, and it's keeping us in here. Yes, this is not the time to have a sluggish will. Because what will take place if we do? What takes place when your will is sluggish?
You fall.
You fall. What else takes place? And to clarify that even more, while we're here, because we're already in the fail, what takes place when your will is sluggish now?
You get bound down to carnal life.
You get more bound to carnal life. You continue to keep chains on you. You cannot ascend as easily. The veil is put over your eyes. You can't see as clearly. The murky ethers take place with us more when we have a sluggish will. So we must not allow our will to get sluggish, because then it also depletes our energy. We must be energized now. We're the ones that are doing what coming out of here, this particular class.
Guiders
Yes.
of the nation.
So you can't have no sluggish will trying to guide nobody. Where you going to guide them to? Into darkness. That's where you're going to guide them if your will is sluggish. We're trying to guide them to the what?
Light.
Here we go. Who made you?
Allah.
Who is Allah?
Allah's Father in the universe.
Can we see him?
No.
Where is there the place to meet him?
In the heart.
Who is Noble Duali?
He is Allah's Father.
What is a prophet?
Prophet of Allah.
What is the duty of a prophet?
Save nations from the wrath of Allah.
Who was the founder of the Moore Sign Symbol of America?
Noble Duali.
What year was the Moore Sign Symbol of America founded?
1913 AD.
Where?
North New Jersey.
Where was Noble Duali born?
In the state of North Carolina, 1886.
What is his nationality?
Moorish American.
What is your nationality?
Moorish American.
Why are we Moorish American?
Because our descendants of robbers and born in America.
For what purpose was the Moore Sign Symbol of America founded?
We have to follow humanity.
And we're going with rhythm. It's again part of focus and alertness. We're going with rhythm. You gotta have a rhythm. Because what we're trying to do is not allow those pieces to get murky on us or for our will with a rhythm, because we're trying to at least do one thing, keep a balance. All right, how did the prophet get up with the Morse Murray?
By teaching them to be themselves.
What is our religion?
Islamism.
Is that a new or is that the old time religion?
Old time religion.
What kind of flag is the Morse?
It's a raised flag of 5.3 stars.
What do the 5 points represent?
Love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice.
How old is our flag?
It is over 10,000 years old.
Which is our holy day?
Friday.
Why?
Because Friday is the day of the transformed in Christ.
Who was Jesus?
He was the prophet of Allah.
Where was he born?
Bethlehem, Judah, State.
Who was his father and mother?
Joseph, Mary.
Can you give in brief the line genealogy through which Jesus came?
Some of the great fathers who was Jesus came are Abraham, Harun, Jesse, King David, Solomon, Hezekiah, Joseph, and Mary.
Why did Allah send Jesus to this earth?
To save the Israelites from lying and oppression, because the nation of Europe, who would govern the portion of Palestine at that time.
How long was that then?
About 2,000 years ago.
What was the nationality of Ruth?
Ruth was a Moabitess.
What is the modern name for Moabite?
Moroccans.
Where's the Moroccan Empire?
Northwest of Mexico.
What is the modern name for Mexico?
Africa.
What is the title given to our ruler in Morocco?
Sultan.
Where do we get the name Jesus?
From the east.
What does the name Jesus mean?
Jesus means justice.
Did the angel give to the child that was called Jesus a holy name?
Yes, they did not believe by those who are slaves to sin.
What is an angel?
Angels of Allah manifested in human flesh.
What are angels used for?
Declaring message to the whole of the world to all nations.
What is our prophet to us?
He is the angel of Allah who sent the everlasting gospel of Allah.
What is the everlasting gospel?
He is the saved God that comes from Allah, the angel Father, thy Father.
What is the covenant of the great God Allah?
Honor thy father and thy mother, that they be long on everything to Allah.
At what age did Jesus begin to teach?
At the age of 12,
Where did he teach?
in Africa, Europe,
How long did he teach?
18 years.
What did Jesus say that would make you free?
Truth.
What is truth?
Truth is all.
What is all?
All is Allah.
Can truth change?
Truth cannot change or pass away.
What other name do we give to truth?
Holy word.
What did you say about holy word?
All we say is great, is good, Lord, is help.
What place on earth was the physical part of man's form?
In the Garden of Eden,
Where's the Garden of Eden?
in the land of Canaan, and the city of America.
What's the modern name for the Garden of Eden?
America.
What is the name of the first physical man?
His name cannot be used only by his rules of AC of the MST.
What are the words of AC of the MST?
That chamber, the more science to know America.
Who were Adam and Eve?
The other mothers, fathers, the human family, age, as follows.
Where did they go?
They went into Asia.
What is the modern name given to their children?
Age, as.
Who was guarding the holy city of Mecca today to keep them breathing away?
Angel.
What is the modern name for those names?
Age, as.
What is the shape of their skin?
Olive.
Are the Morse markers in relation to those angels?
Yes, Lord, that same father and mother.
Here's 5 names that are given to the descendants of Adam and Eve.
Lucifer, Satan, devil, dragon, and beast.
What is the devil sometimes called?
The Lord's son.
How many cells are there?
2.
Name them.
Higher self, the Lord's son.
What people represent the higher self?
The angels who take hold city of earth.
What people represent the lower self?
Those who cast out the whole city and those who simply teach.
What is the higher self?
The higher self is one of the virtues and arms of life, degrees, justice, mercy, love, and right.
Can the higher self pass away?
No,
Why?
because it's all our man.
What does the lower self do?
Hatred, slander, lewdness, murder, theft, and everything else.
What did the higher self say to the lower self at one time when he met him?
Well, you know what Satan.
What was the answer that the lower self gave to the higher self?
I'm going to the court of sin.
Has he finished his task of devouring?
Yes,
What was his time carried out?
we nailed Jesus on the cross.
What are the last words Jesus uttered?
It is finished.
What did he have reference to?
He had reference to the sin.
Did Jesus say that he would return a conqueror?
Yes.
What is the name of the person into whom Jesus was first reincarnated?
Prophet Muhammad the conqueror.
And Satan to be bound there.
Satan was the ground of all.
When was the head of Satan taken off?
1453 Byzantine.
By whom?
By Muhammad.
Name some of the marks that were put upon the moors of Northwest by the European nations in 1774.
Negro, black, colored, and Ethiopia.
Negro.
A name given to a river in West Africa by Moors instead of containing black water.
What is meant by the word black?
Black, according to science, means death.
What does the word colored mean?
Color means anything and things, stain, varnish, or dye.
What does Ethiopian mean?
Ethiopia means something dry.
Can a man be, yes, can a man be a Negro, black, colored, or Ethiopian?
No.
Why?
Was a man created in his likeness of God.
What title does Satan give himself?
God.
Can you define the word like?
God means purity, purity is God means rule of land.
Whom do we refer to at times as being the great God?
Allah.
The devil made in the image and likeness of Allah.
No man shall know the serpent pass away.
Who made the devil?
Elohim.
Who was the enemy?
Elohim is the seventh great spirit that created and was, is, and will be.
What is Elohim sometimes called?
The 7 eyes of Allah.
How many days in the first?
7 days.
How many days in the first?
7 days.
According to science, how many days in the year?
7 days.
Praise be to Allah. You all may not realize that from me listening from this perspective, there was a rhythm of unity that was strong with us. And that's how we have to stay. If we're working together to gain the strength we need to help in this great program, to help lift for humanity. See, if we read and study in the Koran, we learn that no man lives unto himself. So every living thing is bound by cords to every other living thing. So there's a rhythm in the universe. And that rhythm gets disturbed how? It's in your book. And rhythm gets disturbed how? And it causes certain reactions. I'll use that term.
When man harms a living thing,
What if there's your thought? When he harms the living thing, he does what? He harms himself.
he harms himself in it. And
Okay. But even as we, and that's good. What does it say in chapter 10? When you touch the fiber of a living thing, you do what? And you cause the what?
Shoulder like the tremble in the sheep.
Okay. I know y'all know.
that's what I was trying to say.
That's part of the focus and the alertness that we're trying to maintain. There's a rhythm to this, and this doesn't change because it's the truth. And as we live it in that order, there is a sequence to this. There's a sequence to all the connections of these lessons in our literature. There's a sequence. And we live it in a certain rhythm. That's how our ancient forefathers were able to found the holy city. Last week we talked about a lot of things, and we talked about the angels, and that their will was never strong. So we don't want to be confused about their will not being strong in the sense from a finished point of view, as earthly man's way of thinking, weakness and a strong will. You just read it in the questionnaire. What people represent the higher self? You think they don't have a strong will to do that? You think Allah didn't realize that he had to let them protect the holy city versus us? That they're the ones that represent the higher self because of what? They will keep their will in harmony with ours. They represent the higher self. See, there's a connection to all of this. We got to make sure we now are going a little bit deeper and ready to have a little higher so that we can see. Yes, ma'am.
Speaking of angels, are you talking about angels or you talking about me? We won't consider them as they're humans, human beings. But you're speaking of angels. But their will was never strong. So it's different than angels
And man,
in man.
yeah, they're two different beings.
So if the angels don't, how can one of us be an angel?
Who said that? We're not.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. How can you be an angel?
You can't. He said, and if you make a reference to this statement, he said, what is our profit to us?
The angel of
To
love.
us.
Okay.
And he's a man. To us, he's an angel because of certain things he does.
All right.
that. And it's what I just said. Is the prophet willing to without our will yet? He holds his will until without. So in many senses, in many ways, from our prophet does things just as angels do. He things, he carries messages. He obeys Allah without question.
Right.
It's unacceptable. And you don't have no sense. So those are some things you just think about. What about that right now? Here's what I want to do. We're going to do exercise today. Mufti, I don't want no Mufti or no MIT to participate. We sometimes do this in our instruction class. They're on all of you. Look around them. Observe. You also know or are learning how a temple is supposed to be set up. Correct? Been in here for some of us for many years, and I put it that way. And most of us been in here for more than once. So you paid attention, or you should be paying attention. And if you're a member of the Morris Science Temple of America, you have to pay attention. You have to know how a temple is supposed to be set up. You have to know things, and in particular, being a member of the Morris Science Temple of America and a member of Temple 71, you should get used to coming in here and seeing things, quote unquote, in place. So therefore, when they may be out of place, that should capture your attention, right?
Yes.
Just from what you normally see. All right? So, in this exercise, I want you all to take careful look around. And I want you to close your eyes. Everybody close their eyes. You careful look around, right? Now, I want you to have observed. I'm not asking the question yet. I want you to have observed everything in here that is red. That is red, the color red. I want you to have observed it. Keep your eyes closed for a moment. Now, y'all ready?
Yes, sir.
Now, tell me everything you saw that was green. Open your eyes. Open your eyes. You see what I'm talking about? Alertness. Staying focused. Yeah, I said red. That ain't what I want you to talk about. I want you to observe the red and tell me what you saw was green. Not just what you remember, because we know the green flag ain't gonna move. I'm saying this to say this. When we out there in the world, it's a split second between you seeing danger or seeing things out of place that will cause you not to go that way because it's trouble, or for you to be conscious if something's coming toward you, such as a car or something of that nature. So we got to make sure that we stand alert. Your mind's eye going to let you know certain things. So that was just easy.
Islam.
All right. Islam.
That's in alignment with reflection is the business of man.
Yes.
And the sense of his state is his first duty.
And tell me what that part means. The sense of his state is his first duty. What does that mean to you?
The sense of the state of mind.
Don't use the word state. You may never synonym for that. Instead of saying state, a sense of
his awareness. Yeah, of his awareness.
Yes, good. Awareness. Where he's at. How you see things. The part of him that he's examining gets uneven, then the ethers change, right? The ethers change. When the ethers change, that fills with a little bit of oil, you know. I'm not on point today. Sometimes you wake up and get tired. You know, when you go through life, you go through a long day working and you're tired. But that's where your alertness and your focus has to stay up. Okay. You're speaking to this. You got it?
Yes, Lord.
Oh, okay. All right. Oh, I don't think there's a mic up there. Wow.
Yo,
Nah, I'm not coming to this. You can put a load in there, right? Okay. I can do that. Okay, so those are the things that we have to know. What is our sense of our state is our first duty. You know, you gotta know where you at, what you going through. Those things that change your equilibrium, those things that kind of move you over. You gotta know yourself. That's part of studying self. You know? That's part of studying self. Now, what do we hold? We got to do our question there. I'm bouncing around a couple of different things. What did we hold in last Sunday school class in terms of chapter 19? We're not going back to 19 no more, and I'm not going to get into it. I ain't going to get into Koran. But we're not going to start, I'm going to let the grand sheet start chapter 20. But what did you hold? Or what stuck with you from chapter 19? Let me read the heading of the chapter so we can remind ourselves. He said, Jesus appears, fully materialized to the Eastern sages in the palace of Prince Ravana in India, to Magi and priests in Persia, 3 wise men speaking praise of the personality of the Nazarene. And the blind sheep went all the way down to, that was on 30, on page 30, 31, and 32. We read the end of the chapter. What did you hold out of that? What did you get from that? Some of the things. We gotta hold. We gotta hold. That's one of the main things of focus and alertness. You gotta hold these lessons. Come on, brother David Bill.
Jesus became flesh divine.
Jesus became flesh divine. Okay. Someone else. What did you go with? Brother Nathan Bay.
I hold those things. Jesus said, well, I have done, all men will do. What I am, all men shall be.
Good. Come on, brother Thurman Bay.
I mean, what I'm holding is that Jesus came and said the possibilities of life. That
Good.
if we follow the footsteps and we can learn the lessons that he went through and that the prophet Noah through our lead went through, that we can pass the whole line and will too. You know what I'm saying? So we got the ability to do the same thing you did. You know what I'm saying? We can conquer death if we follow the footsteps of through our lead.
Good. So James Morris Bay.
You touched on that. I thought it was from the realm of Jesus conquered one of the greatest enemies, one of the greatest enemies known in that time. So this time also still the death. But Jesus showed us that death would be conquered.
So what Mahida?
That Jesus painted a rainbow on the walls of time, and he was known as the God man up today.
Okay. Now, what does that mean in the rainbow on the world? But what does that mean to you?
Well, it's a symbol of life and a promise.
Symbol of everlasting life. Look what he said. Read it in the book. the point that y'all make, they put me in a tomb, I'm starting at 13, they put me in a tomb, and then I wrestled with the conqueror of men. I conquered death. I sat upon him and arose. Never been done before. Brought immortality to light and painted on the walls of time a rainbow for the sons of men. And what I did, all men shall do. What does that mean to you? What he did, all men shall do. What does that mean to you? We have to have a perspective. What does it mean? What it means to us. Come on, Brother Jackson here.
To me, it's overcoming falseness, the world of falseness, because Jesus himself was a mighty, at one point was weak.
Oh, yeah,
He was weak.
he was in flesh, yeah.
God came to him and said, showed him a way of coming out of weakness. And he was tested, what delusion was put in front of him. And it's really hard for human beings to do today. They turn down that illusion.
Well,
Turn down illusions and go to holiness.
well, it is difficulty in it.
Right. It's a process.
But yes, he showed it
Thank you.
and must be done. It must
Because
be.
that illusion is terrible, man.
It is, but what is the illusion anyway?
Anything.
But what is the, I'm trying to stay in the language that we use.
Okay.
What is the illusion anyway?
Thoughts.
Falsehood, that's the first thing.
Right.
And then the reason why it becomes difficult to your point is because of what?
What do you think? Your practice.
Come on, no, bring it back, no.
What do you think?
So how you thinking? It's a state of mind. We just said the sense of your state is your first duty.
Okay, so you 35, 40 years old of a lost state of mind, and then you just coming into the process of truth. So, like I said, it's a process.
It is. I never denied
Yeah,
that.
that's why.
But I asked you what was the state. It's a state of mind. And what the prophet is doing for us is getting us to do what? Think.
Coming to holiness.
And once you, he said, if I can get you to think, you can do what? Okay. Now, the time frame for all of this, it depends on the individual. It depends on each and every one of us individually of how we perceive and how we start to receive this light of truth. And it depends on how you put in your labor. He said the way to her is labor. How devoted are you to this? The Grand Governor reads often, and he read it Friday from the chapter. Why was religion instituted? Ask that question. To teach thee. You got to study this book. The difference between moving from one level to another level of understanding is how often we are engaging ourselves in our practice and our studies. He's given us all a degree of understanding. And remember this right here, whatever Allah has given you, to whatever point we are here in life, it's enough for you to save yourself. Allah don't give you nothing that don't work. All of us have enough to save ourselves. That's how we apply it. And then we build upon it. And how must we build it? How must we build it? How do we, let me ask it this way. How do we build it to make it strong?
Practice.
Practice. And we build it on what? Principle. And on that solid rock of understanding. It can't be nothing shaky. Remember in one of the parables that Jesus was teaching, when he was teaching the people, he was saying, we reap and sow in a scanty way. Now you got to roll up your sleeves and strap them boots down and delve down where? Deep. That's what this takes. come in here and just sit in the seat and not put no work in on yourself. Yourself, and to your point, my brother, yourself takes work. Yourself takes work. In order for us to overcome something that was written, I stated the last time, the strongest foes of who? Our inner man. It takes work. So our Lord self is strong. But it's a blessing when we can be in here and get guidance. Right? It's fine, brother AGS.
It's fine. You know, when I think of that, it made me think how I used to think when I was coming up. That you see a lot of older people now going to church, but they had their trials and tribulations too while they was coming up. So now I should think that when they get older, now everybody go to church and everybody want to be holy. But see, that was the walls of time then. See, you could have been 12 years old going to church. You could have been 14, or you could be 62 and started going to church and trying to get saved. See, that's the walls of time that I just thought about when we talking about the book.
Okay.
Peace.
Yeah, Brother Cooper, Brother.
It's fine, brother Cooper.
Praise God, prophet. Prophet, you already said I had to go around my elbow to get you my thumb. Started when I went in this government. So he was trying to explain that Jesus was a prophet of God, trying to say that Prophet Obadiah was a prophet of Allah. So he was trying to explain that in a way saying that this government they had is the Moorish government that's saying that we are a part and a partial of the government, and that Jesus is the one that said that Israel, he said something about Israel. When he was talking about Israel, he was talking about the pale skin of the nations, trying to say that what they were trying to say about who Jesus was. But at that time, Jesus was still saying about he's his brother man, he's your brother man. So when he was saying you're your brother man, he was talking about everybody. So Prophet Obadiah established this by trying to say that he was part. When he said part, he was trying to say part of a government. Praise God.
Yeah. Yeah, hands up. Come on, brother. Yeah.
I was going to elaborate on what you're saying about he brought immortality to light.
Yeah.
It's hanging on the wall of time, right? When he's saying that, he was showing you that when they had this great meeting that they had, he was showing you, letting you know that man can never die because man is a spirit and a part of Allah. He's showing you the possibility of what man can do. Peace.
Okay. That's good. And signs and symbols are for what?
Men of understanding.
Yeah, we're learning how to use our understanding and build it. And these lessons take us through the life of Jesus, which is the life of man, and the things that man must overcome to be saved. He's the pattern. He was the pattern. There were other patterns that were set before Jesus. Remember, man was on earth 1,000 years before Jesus came. Mm-hmm. He was the first of all the races to transmute. That possibility was there, but it was ordained by Allah when that would take place. And this was during the life of Jesus. Someone had their hand, Brother President and Brother Morrison.
You know, one thing I done learned since being in this temple for 40 years, when you come here, I've learned how to be sincere. You know,
if
you think your condition can be better, and you don't put sincerity in, and you don't have hope that your condition can be better, then you're just playing with yourself. You know what I'm saying? That I done seen a lot of brothers coming and sisters come and go. You understand? So if you're not practicing sincerity and you don't wanna put the work into it like you just said, then you just going around. You just going around. You're gonna find yourself in a situation that you might not be able to get out.
That's true, to that degree, but remember this part too. We all are unfolding. And it teaches us in what chapter, this is going to be some of the trivia that we're going to do today. In what chapter does it talk about, to your point, and what we don't, what we want to be cautious about is this, and your point is going to take, the prophet say, don't play with me because I don't play. Don't take this for granted. But at the same time, he says some are solving much harder than others. So sometimes we may see with our carnal eyes somebody going back and forth. Yes, the lessons are going to encourage you not to do it that way. But you have to build up strength to get to certain points and levels or degrees in here. And that's what is most important that will help you with that.
Your consistency.
Consistency. Yes, constancy. Constancy will help you to do what? See, I'm pulling from the lessons. I want y'all to use the proper words. In the chapter on inconstancy, it tells you what suppresses these tendencies, but what?
Firmness of mind.
Firmness of mind. You gotta start to get firm in this. You gotta start to be consistent, and you gotta, what I just talked about earlier when I asked about what you was able to retain from last week's Sunday school was hold. You gotta hold these lessons so that you can bring remembrance to your aid, and then when you take that self-examination, you come to where your sense of state is. Come on, Governor.
You know, I was just thinking about something about the Grand Sheik brothers. We gotta have a humble confidence.
Yes, that's a good way to put it.
See, I gotta have a humble confidence, because you can have an arrogant confidence.
Yeah.
But you gotta have a humble confidence in these lessons. And what I mean by humble confidence, you gotta be humble about knowing what you know, but not be arrogant about knowing what you know.
Exactly.
So that you can be open to learn more, because there's still much wisdom to be learned.
Yes.
And that's why I use the word humble, because that's how we receive, by being humble and being open. But what you're saying is true. We gotta truly know, we gotta believe, going to the phase of having faith that this works for us.
That's your humble confidence.
That's what I'm saying.
Because the confidence is now on faith, and faith is what you what?
No,
What you know.
Yes,
That's what gives you the confidence.
yes,
You're not guessing no more.
yes,
You don't think perhaps.
yes.
You know. But I had Brother J. Morris Bay. Did I get you?
No, I was thinking in terms of speaking about the rainbow. One of the things
Go ahead.
that the rainbow represents is also hope.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
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 And it's a reminder. And it's good for us, and we must have hope as our ever beacon light. Come on, bro, what about that?
What I got out of this chapter of Grand Sheik is that we can be Jesus-like. We can do the things that Jesus did. And when I found that I was a spirit in the body to thank God for, that gave me a great deal of humble confidence, if I may use that like that, right? So now I take pride in who I am and what I do. I understand that the principles that I live by, I won't do the things I used to do, right? So now I've made the transit, or I am beginning to make the transition to be more, if I may say, God-like.
Yes, you should say that.
Mhm.
That's what this is. That's what this journey is for us to go back and be in harmony. We are lesser gods. We're His children. We are a spirit and a part of Him. If He's the great God, you're a spirit and a part of Him. You are a lesser God. We're not the great God. So yes, we are God's light, and that's what we're trying to bring out of here.
Godliness.
Is your God likeness, so that you can be in harmony with Him. That's good. Come on, Brother Thompson. I see you, Mom.
Say that you say that the prophet said he blended all the broken wires to the higher power.
He mended the broken wires and connected it back to the higher power. What was he talking about? In your mind, what do you get from that?
Well, we all connected. We all connected.
But what did man do? This is, like I said, again, it's a sequence to this, and it should be a sequence to how you think, especially man. Now that we're having things revealed to us that were dormant, that were not known before we came in here. And what he's teaching us is the connection.
Right.
I've mended the broken wires and connected it back to the higher power. Well, if we got connected back, that means at some point we broke.
Right.
To ourselves.
We tore ourselves away, debased ourselves. We broke away from out of it. We fell. And He's picking us back up. Planting our feet on a solid rock of foundation. So now we can start to work toward regaining our what? Yes. We got lost along the way. Come on, Brother Jackson.
You stated that we failed. We wasn't under instructions when we failed. I think
Are you kidding me?
What I'm saying, this knowledge and understanding come after that, later on, to man.
Let me show you now.
But when you talking about we failed,
Can I help you? Are you open?
huh?
Are you open? That was what Paul said.
You can't blame.
When you want to talk to somebody, y'all having a problem,
Yeah.
before you get into the conversation,
Yeah.
because people are not at the same place at the same time all the time.
Right.
And especially if you know you had some conflict.
Right.
One of the things, lessons I learned from him, he used to ask a person how they open.
Yes.
You gotta ask people how they open, because then you just be talking for no reason.
Right.
And the only thing they wait for you to do is stop talking, so then they can tell you what they think.
That's real.
That's the only thing they waiting on.
That's real.
But if they open, they'll receive.
Yes, that's right.
They'll hear you.
That's right.
Especially if you come in with sincerity
Yes, right.
and you're trying to bring about a harmonious condition. And that's how we as more supposed to operate. To your point, let me aid the system a little. We've always had guidance.
Yes.
We're spirit. That doesn't change, no matter what our condition is. We may not realize it,
Yeah, that's true.
but that doesn't matter because Allah is in you. You've grown to realize it. That's what these lessons are for. To teach us about who we really are. A spirit and a part of Almighty God power. So he doesn't change. What are Allah's thoughts from where?
From the never
So
end.
that's perpetual. That's non-stop. Time never was. That's why we got to think in sequence. We got to realize who we are. We've always existed. We just manifested here. We've always existed. Oh, now I have to go.
Yes, you know, I think one of the things I gather from this chapter from Grant Sheet, is chapter in Line chapter 13.
Mhm.
And it says, "They put me in a tomb, and then I wrestle with the conqueror of men." The thought that man cannot, there's another existence of life after this life. See, that way of thinking can allow you to shape your way of thinking of doing things in a way that you will do everything you can to prevent, even to a point where you will make decisions because of the unknown about going into that which you don't know. And when man realized that man cannot die, that changes man's whole way of looking at life and not being afraid of death. See, you have people do some real interesting things to try to prevent death. Try to, they would do all kinds of things. Some would even try to take some of the belongings with them because they was afraid of the thought of death.
Yeah.
And that thing robs you because the thought of affliction wounded deeper than the affliction itself. The thought of it, and people make decisions. They may even take medication to try to prevent it. But when he showed them that was a falsehood, that man cannot die, and that there's life after death, it allows man to be more freer and not allow himself to be, shackled.
Exactly.
Be shackled of the fear of passing away. And because without the word conquer, that thing has conquered a many person and still does.
Oh, no doubt.
And we gotta not allow it to conquer us based on the way we see things today. Because he wouldn't have gave it to us just to be given it to us, because we gotta overcome that fear. That there's, even though we may not know what we know, we gotta have some trust and belief that there's life afterwards, and there's life afterwards. Peace.
And it's good being in here to all of the things you just said. Look at the chapters that we have that we can relate to what the governor just talked about. Remember, and this is one of the reasons that I believe why the prophet teaches us about the life of Jesus, because there were several events that took place before and during his life. You know, we talked about the idol worship, which is what you're talking about. And if you will start to read back the history and go into some of those different things that the prophet has in our literature and start looking up some of the names, the geographical locations of the places that he puts in here, and just hold this thought in mind. He doesn't name a year, 1453, Byzantine. You need to learn what that is. He doesn't name different geographical locations in the world that Jesus taught, and different places that Mary and Elizabeth were in. For us to just read it here, you're supposed to go research that. You're supposed to find out what was going on during that time.
That's right.
He don't let you know that the ancient name of Moroccans is Moabites for no reason. You got to see what the ancient Moabites did. I'm going to read something to you in a few minutes. He's teaching us these things so that we can now travel and thought. Because if we do believe that we can do what Jesus did, that means you were here before. And when you were here before, you were somewhere. And the prophet said, those were with me 2,000 years ago are with me today. We got to say you got faith in that. If you was with the prophet 2,000 years ago, that's why you with him today. And so you study, you travel, you see, because as we unfold these attributes of Almighty God unlocked inside of us, you start to realize different things. Certain thoughts will come to your mind. They might not stay long. You know how people talk about deja vu? Where there's a sense that you've seen that particular thing before, or was in that particular, something reminding you of a period of time or some event. You can't quite put it all together. It seems familiar. But in our Koran, he tells us what? Mind what? no such thing as you just don't remember in this moment. But mind never does forget. So there's something about your mind we gotta learn and study and practice so it can be developed. He talks about masterminds. What is part of their duty?
Trace themselves back.
Okay, and do
Thus
whatever.
they know.
And whatever. What else? Mastermind.
Trace themselves back.
Okay. But they help to restore.
Oh, yeah.
The mastermind, now, I remember this particular part of it, and this is part of how we got to look at ourselves. John, he wrought in the Egyptian school for 18 years. He learned the duty of the harbinger, and he became a mastermind. That should let you know something about you. We in this sacred school being taught. And some of us been here longer than 18 years. And we are learning the duties. And there's no limitation for any of us to become a mastermind. Now, one of the things, and there's several things, we just got to piece them together. He was able to do certain things after he became a mastermind. Jesus was too. And so they had certain attributes that unlocked, unfolded in them. Same with the prophet today. But we had those same things. And they unfolded in us. It's gradual. But we got to realize that it's there. So certain things are going to start. The more somebody talked about it Friday, and I talked about it, we all talk about it a lot. Purification. Purification. Let's keep those thoughts in mind. Come on, man.
Islam, to your point, I was actually trying to do one of the things that I'm learning to do in the temple, and that is to remember and recall. And while you were talking, I had raised my hand prior, but I was starting to lose my thought or what I was trying to say. But one of the main things that kept coming to me is hold the thought. Even though I was listening to you at the same time,
Right.
and engaging, I still had to try to remember. And that's a unique thing in here that I never had to do anywhere else. Just have to hold on to some of the things that I'm trying to think about while something else is going on and engaging. And so I'm thankful for that. And one of the things I wanted to say, adding to Brother, the Grand Governor, is that when he was saying that Jesus was giving us the yeah, I see that as trying to leave. But the thing is Jesus is giving us, showing us another way of life in regards to what he was saying, and that made me think about even what the brother was saying about a different that we've been here all the time where you were saying that, and Allah's just giving us a different degree. So it's not that these lessons haven't. We haven't had these lessons until now.
Yeah.
He's just giving us a different degree. You know what I mean? So
I get your point. Remember, he talked about finite minds, comprehending things. They come as we grow and we unfold. Now you don't see it from an earthly point of view.
yeah,
That's why we come in here and we talk about our language. We don't hold these type of discussions with many other people outside of those Illinois sons of America, yeah, people know about God, but look how we expound on these teachers and able to hold conversation on higher things because he's raising us up. And a lot of people still, to this point, and this is based, I mean, for us at this point in our life, that we're not Negro, black, color. How much are we going to convince others of that?
That's hard.
Very good.
See, and that's based, but it's also in the human records. And you can take them to it and they still say, well, that don't matter.
That's right.
They have a picture of a person on their wall they call Jesus. But in their Bible, it says that he has hair of wool and skin of bronze. And he's sitting up there, or the guy up on that picture with blonde hair, blue eyes, and pale skin. And it'll tell you that don't matter.
Still don't rest.
Oh, yeah.
So one of the key things in that regard for us is that we've been woken up in what? We woke up. We woke up in love. And being woke up, that changes your state of mind, the way you think, and how you begin to perceive things about self and about man. And that's what we've been included to be in here. Do you have a information? And so, now it's important that you get all the pieces of literature that we should have, that are distributed in the Lord's Son. Name those pieces of literature that you should have, because it's going to be important. I often hear the chairman and others say, come in here with your tools.
That's right.
It's on, but
I want to say, you said don't find my comprehend things infinite. So infinite mind can comprehend things finite, but finite can't comprehend things infinite. So that means the lower self cannot comprehend the higher self, but the higher self can understand and comprehend the lower self. Can you say it like that?
I see the point you make. I don't want to put it just like that for me,
Because that way, that's a weaker part.
no, you on it.
Okay.
I'm just looking at the part where you said the lower self cannot comprehend things infinite. I gotta work on that part.
Okay.
Because the Lord self is inside of us. He knows what we know.
That was just a phony something, that's all.
And his mission, because he knows that there's the higher self, we just went through it. What did the lower self, higher self say to the lower self? So I ain't gonna say he can't comprehend it. It's not his job to go along with it.
Yeah.
He fights it. So he knows we have a higher self. He knows that he's not God, but what he sometimes calls himself.
God.
So we can't say he can't comprehend it. But what we're saying is,
He just don't go along with it.
of course, that's his job is to keep us away from our higher self, and not to allow us to, because then he dissipates, he disappears, he weakens himself.
You don't like that material to get the high self way.
We give him strength, because our devil is our own. And even in the chapter on inconstancy, when he says at the end, David of the light, slave the strong, the life of the dark, and seek the Savior of love upon the throne. So he wants to stay on that throne. And he knows the only way he wants to stay on the throne with us is we keep putting him there. So we got to defeat him. Part of the chapter about conquering death. That's the lower self. That's the lower self. Because death is no enemy of man. He said it's a friend. And when the work of life is done, it just cuts the cord that this human boat may sail on smooth seas. He don't want you to think that. He wanted it to be just like it was before Jesus was able to stamp upon him and arose. That men feared death.
You don't want to give up his title.
Now, here's another part of that we want to keep in mind as well. Remember what Jesus did when he first arose from the tomb. This is why we got to stay in our literature so we can see the complete picture. And I'm just paraphrasing and giving you different parts of it, but what I'm trying to do is just direct your attention. Jesus went and freed the captive souls. He had to free the captive souls. You got to think about what does that mean. The captive souls. He left. Once he arose, he went on the plane of souls. They were captive there. They were prisoners. So it was certain things that Jesus did. It wasn't just his mission to arise and come back and flesh. He had to do work on the different planes. Because remember, before he did it, everybody was locked into death was it. And they were captive there.
So was the 40 days, 40 nights, was that part of it?
Now that
He did this himself?
40 days,
Right, the
come
captive
on
soul.
him wrestling in the wilderness.
Yeah.
No, he was on earth then. He hadn't been crucified at that point.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Question when you said, now, Ron, you say from night, go along with that.
Yeah, that's good. You like to work that up. And what did that tell you? What did that tell you right there? That's a good point. And that's a good point that we got to remember. As we're looking at things here, as we're learning, as we're unfolding, from a finite point of view, from an earthly point of view, certain things seem a certain way. When you asked earlier about, man getting these instructions later when he fell, but when he fell, he wasn't in flesh. He had instructions, and his instruction was to stay in harmony with Allah. But he didn't want to listen to that. He had desires that were strong. He said, and we just, I was just reading before I came up here, the carnal thoughts and words and deeds. Man tore himself away from Allah, debased himself. So all of it was how he was thinking. And then he performed certain acts because of his will. And so he tore himself away from Allah. We did. And so these things we got to remember. And when we got here, we're looking at life now in a slower context because the earthly meat and the murky ethers have taken effect here on this plane of things made manifest. And our will is much slower. The rhythm is much slower. So different things come before our eyes, but those eyes that we talked about see what? Here.
Manifest.
What do they see here? Illusion. They see illusion. These carnal eyes that we have are showing us illusion.
That's right.
It's not the real.
That's right. Right.
So as we learn that we can help people, and this is part of your thinking becomes slower here. Prophet is teaching us how we can speed it back up. If you have the ability to think on a higher level, not from a finite point of view. That finite point of view is the slowest rate that we can think on. We're trying to raise it up so now we can see what this is all about. And he said it has a what?
Beginning.
Come on. It has a beginning and it has an end.
That's right.
So this is going to pass away.
That's right.
So So we still gonna be working on things. We can't have this conversation with everybody coming around the corner. Let's just get in here, let's get working with us. For them to really see where we're going with this. Come on, brother, hold on, brother, Fizz, babe. I had brother, Crawford here.
No, you just said something that thought came to mind when you said it has a beginning and it has an end. And its end is when it's served its purpose for it. That's its end.
All right.
Don't the book say something about, and then it served its purpose where?
What does it say? Where does it come
Be no more.
You gotta basically say.
The flesh,
What is
the
it talking about?
soul.
We know this is going to end, but to your point, he's talking about the flesh and the soul. Yeah. So that comes after what?
After you conquered,
There's other things that go on. Just before that takes place, but after what?
after you conquered unnumbered foes, stood untrembled.
Chapter 1, please. Chapter 1. Because the reason I'm saying this is, here's the point. And this is everything for us here at Temple 71. Y'all gotta remember this. We're being recorded. We're putting messages out to the universe, to others. Our best aid and assistance we can have, and I know we in the ballpark and we pull it. And all we want to do is let's give them the whole piece. Let's just say what I like to say. Let's say you prophets. We just aid and assisting ourselves, but you only from you. Read chapter 1. Not from the beginning, but down at that excerpt at the end.
She ready.
Well, she ready. Come on.
It says, man cannot die. The spirit man is one with Allah, and while Allah lives, man cannot die. When man has conquered every foe upon the plane of soul, the seed will have full open out and have unfold in the holy breath. The garb of soul will then have served its purpose well, and man will need it nevermore. It will pass and be no more, and man will then obtain unto the blessedness of perfectness, and at one with Allah.
When man has conquered, that's right. He said, unnumbered foes will stand before man on the plane of soul. So that means you got work to do when you get there. And from this point here on the plane of things made manifest, what does it say about when there's God of flesh and serve his purpose? And I'm not saying in that particular chapter. Yeah, when your tasks are done, that's when you can call away. Read what it said in chapter 4. Her work was done. When our work is done, we get called away. Yeah. See, a lot of times, and he's teaching us something very important. He's teaching us something very important. That's why we got to think in sequence. He said, because the death are always for the best. Yes. He didn't say sometimes. He didn't say it could be. He said always. From a finite point of view, we see tragedy in different things. Right. But we, as Morris Americans, got to raise up to that next level of infinite wisdom and know that there are no happenings. That's right. Law governs all events, and the cause of death always for the best. We don't know what a soul has come and manifested here on earth, what their task was for another life. All of us came back to finish up something. And when our task is finished, we're going back.
And to add to that, Brother Brian, she been solving problems there as well as here.
Yeah. But I'm trying to get us to not see the cause of death to be a tragic event.
That's right. That's right.
That's not.
It's not. no matter how it takes place from a finite point of view. Fire, water, car accident, whatever it is. And I'm not trying to diminish nobody's way of thinking, but we all experience tragedy. We got to go through that. But we got to go through it now in a consciousness that raises us up to know it's for the best. The event itself, we got to start looking at it different. We got to start looking at it different so it does not bind us. No, bind us to this carnal world. See, there's a number of different things that take place when somebody passes. And he's teaching us in here, you can't hold on to them and try to pull them back in here. He's teaching us that. We got to be able to put these lessons together so that we can raise up and know that one of the things, not in these lessons, but one of the things we do know, they not dead.
Right.
We'll see them again.
It just came around when you said that about not letting death, overtake us. Our weaknesses, our defenses are down, and that's when the Lord has the open door to ease on in. Because our state of mind at that time is on a cardinal level. And I've seen it, I done felt it. All those negative thoughts start coming in your head. Because the first thing we say, why? Why this? Why that? Why that? Blah, 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 blah. Right? And then we start, I don't care. And then we let go of our higher self because the Lord self took over. We really got to remember that death is no enemy to man.
No, we have built relationships that are strong. And so the human side will have those passions of emptiness and different things. We gotta go through that. We gotta pass through that. But with these lessons, it teaches us how we can then accept.
That's right.
How we can accept it. And it's not overnight. You can't put a time frame on that. You don't put a time frame. Don't even try to put a time frame on it. You just work on yourself.
Yes,
it's good. You got the last word.
It's the way I see it is we can't leave here until our work here is done.
That's right.
Because we got traveling to do on the other side.
Yes.
And we don't know where we're gonna be.
And the key to it, I'm glad you said that. And the key to that part of it is He prepares us for it. For that work on the other side. This is the best preparation for your next part of your journey. Because now you know it's coming, and some of the things you may be able to be prepared to deal with when you get there. Because of being it. Peace, Mom.
Peace.
Islam. How the Moors feel. Praise be to Allah. I'd like to thank our Grand National Chairman, our Grand Street here, Temple 71, Brother P.J. Field, for very stimulating Koran Sunday School class. And I'd like to thank you all for your participation. And at this time, I call forth the Grand Governor of Washington, D.C., Brother H.R.S. Bay, to read out the divine warning. And while the warning is being read, please give the reading your undivided attention, and please cease all movement.
Islam wars. First, I give praise to Allah, now the Prophet Noble Ali. I give honor to each and every one of you, and I give honor to everything Prophet Noble Ali has brought for the upliftment of all humanity. Prophet warns all my governors, order to read proclamation in each meeting. I hereby inform all members that they must get all radical, agitating speeches while at work, in their homes, or on the streets. We are for peace and not destruction.
Stop flashing your cards to Europeans and causing confusion. Remember, your card is for your salvation. Failure to obey these orders will be of severe consequence. We have love, truth, peace, and freedom. And when these principles are violated, justice then must take its course. Any member or group of members who hold malicious feelings toward the temple or the prophet, or violate the divine covenant of the Moorish movement, will receive their reward from Allah for their unjust deeds. All true Muslims will and must obey the law and lay down to them by their prophet. If they lose confidence in their prophet, they should turn in their card, but cease wearing their turban or fez and return to the state where the prophet found. This is a holy divine movement founded by the prophet known to Ali. And if the prophet is not right, the temple is not right. The prophet therefore is sending out the divine plea to all Moorish Americans that they do their part in protecting their prophet and the temple. This is an everlasting movement founded by the prophet through the will of Allah to redeem his people from their sins by order of prophet known to Ali. Peace.
Peace.
Islam. I'd like to thank our grand
Allah, the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, through Ali. Amen.